I'm tired of having to choose between survey platforms that are super expensive but do the things I want them to do, and platforms that are affordable, cheap, or even free, but don't have all the functionality that I need to deliver like a good survey taking experience. So I have a solution. I'm gonna build my own platform. Experience level, coding in MySpace in the early 2000s. So like low experience level, low skill level in this. My name's Kirsten. I have a PhD from the University of Pennsylvania where I studied school turnarounds, research practice partnerships, and really nerded out about good survey design. I'm the author of Ask Better Questions, a simple guide to good survey design. And I'm ready to take on this challenge with the help of ChatGPT. Follow along if you want to see how it goes and if you want to pick up some tips and tricks on good survey design along the way. This could take forever and not work, and I'm okay with that. I'm excited. Let's learn some new skills, y'all. So a little background on how I currently do surveys for my business. I currently use Qualtrics. It costs me almost $2,000 a year. And every year the price goes up by about like $100 and includes less customer service and possibly more features that I just don't even use. Y'all, that's expensive for a small business like me. $2,000 a year is expensive. I'm only surveying between like 50 and 100 people a year, right? Small amount. People are like, oh, why don't you just switch to something free like Google Forms? Two reasons. One, I'm never gonna use a platform that I wouldn't recommend to my clients. And two, there are certain things that I just am like not willing to give up in terms of features because I want my clients to have a good, seamless, dare I say fun survey taking experience. So I am on Qualtrics because I like the features and I cough up $2,000 a year to pay for it. Up until now. So what does day one of bootstrapping a platform look like? Well, first I went to my trusty friend ChatGPT to make a plan. The thing is, this didn't start out as a project where I would build my own survey platform. It started out as a project where I wanted to train an AI algorithm to improve people's survey questions, which I am also doing. And what I realized is like, that's a lot of data aggregation, data tagging, just like a bunch of work that like you don't have a lot to show for immediately. And I was just like, oh, like I just want something for people to look at. I just want to like prove that like I am actually going to be able to do this. So using Hugging Face and Gradio, I worked with ChatGPT to build a little like test app. I started this at like 7:30ish p.m. Last Friday night, and I finished at about 4:30 a.m. And I built this little tool to make over people's questions. And this is kind of like what led me down this whole like path of like bootstrapping a survey data collection tool. And basically what you do is you type in a question. And let's say your question is like, how was my event? And then you would click, if it's multiple choice, select all that apply or open-ended. If it happens to be open-ended, then you don't have to type in any answer choices, which is cool. And then you can say like, do you agree to let me use this to train my algorithm? Your choice, you can or you don't have to. And then you click make over my question. Then on the next page, it gives a preview of what your question looks like. It tells you the algorithm's not ready yet because it's not ready yet. Like give me a month or two, it'll be ready, it'll be great. So in the meantime, instead of my algorithm populating feedback down here, it gives you a checklist that you can use to review your question. And the checklist is based on my book. And you go through, like, am I being specific? This is not a specific question. Is it simple? It is simple. Is it only about one topic? Yes. Do I need a written response? This is dynamic, right? If someone didn't have open-ended, this one wouldn't show up. No, you don't need an open response in this question. Is there a clear answer choice for everyone? No, because I didn't even have answer choices. Should everyone see this question? Depends, like on who you're sending it to. I'm going to say yes. And then you click give me tips to improve. And then based on what you've answered here, you will get tips specific to the areas of improvement that you have. So it's just a fun little thing just to show that really just to show myself and anyone else who's watching that like, hey, I can build things. I can build things with the help of AI. Like I can build things, and I was proud and it was cool. So I built that in Hugging Face using like Gradio as like the user interface. So was like dabbling in some Python code. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I feel like I'm actually going to be able to build this app what is the other thing that I need to like sell people on this? And well, wouldn't you know, it's a survey, y'all. Like, I need to do some market research to learn more about what survey platforms people are using, what features they like, what features they dislike, would they actually use a tool like this? Because like, I want a tool like this for myself, but like, is there broader appeal? And so this is where I got to like needing to build my own survey tool, because I would never collect my data on Google Forms because I just think it's too limited in terms of functionality, but it would be silly for me to collect my data on Qualtrics or another platform if end game I'm thinking like, hey, I'm gonna make my own platform that's better. So why not do like a little proof of concept and just be like, can I even collect my own data independent of these larger tools? Can I actually get myself to a place where like, I'm not relying on Qualtrics once my contract is up in May? I'm able to just like bootstrap my own data collection that like looks clean, has the features I want, is easy to analyze. Like, let's test this thing out. So that's what I did. Here is the day one version of my new survey collection tool. It's super basic, it's ugly, but I want to show you this step by step. So like after my first go, this is the product that we have. So here's my non-technical explanation of how I've made this happen so far. Again, this is just like day one. I had a little chat with ChatGPT. I said, hey, I want to start collecting market research on the survey platform idea I have. I want to be able to collect it using my own survey tool. I don't want to use anything that's already out there. I want to start from scratch and just like see what I can build. These are the types of questions I want it to be able to ask. This type of like display and skip logic is really important to me. I'd love for like some embedded data capabilities. Just kind of like gave it the rundown, and it was like, cool, Kirsten. This is totally possible. You can do it, because you know what? My ChatGPT is like such a hype person. I love it. Hypes me up all the time. So it's like, you can do it. Here's what you need to do. You need to use Streamlit and you need to use GitHub. And I was like, okay, awesome. Because I had just learned how to use Gradio and Hugging Face last week. But like, cool. If those aren't going to work for this, like, let's learn some new tools. So I set up an account with Streamlit and I set up an account with GitHub. Let me say this. I have very limited coding experience. I've done a tiny bit in Python. I have coded a little bit in R and SPSS, but again, like, I really don't have extensive coding experience, and I just like don't want people to have the impression that I like magically made up this code out of my head, because I completely didn't. What I did was I sat down with ChatGPT and I explained in great detail what I want the app to be able to do, and it drafted a first pass of code based on what I explained. So day one, what my survey tool looks like right now, based on my specifications, is this. And I decided I wanted to do it in tabs. And this is like placeholder questions. I'm not gonna ask people their names. It's gonna be anonymous. So like, this is just placeholders. I just wanted to see if it was possible. Just wanted to see if I could do it. To be totally honest with you, what took the longest for me was setting up like the Google Sheets API and like connecting Google Sheets to my GitHub and making everything connect so that when people enter data here, that it like shows up in my Google Sheets. That was like by far, in my opinion, the most challenging part. That like really took a lot. Shout out to ChatGPT for my patience on that. But this is just like draft number one, like different tabs. They'll have questions on different tabs. I want a warning so that people like go back and do the tabs in order, right? And this is just like a fun, like, I'm kind of just curious about like letting people preview tabs versus like having to like scroll down pages on a survey or click next. It's just something I want to explore about. And I can't even see, hold on. There is another, thank God. I could collect your name and your role from this very limited list of roles, and it would show up in a Google Sheet in my Google account, which to me is, I'm just like, amazing for like step one, like super pumped that this is a thing. I also really love this like review and submit button, because ultimately what this will do is show you all the questions you answered, so you could like make sure that it looks how you want before you hit submit. I think that's kind of cool. So yeah, testing some things out. What I'm going to do in terms of changes for the next update is I definitely want to change like the colors and the interface. I have a lot of strong opinions on that. And I want to test out some different question types that I've been mulling over just to see again what the functionality looks like. The reason I don't have my actual real questions in there yet is I think survey design and quality questions is really important, and I'm still like fine tuning them. So these are just placeholder questions for now. I just want to see what the different question types looks like, play around with them a little bit. But yeah, Day one, here we are. This is what it looks like. I have my code in BB Edit, which I haven't used since my dissertation, which is just like, wow, throwback. I have my little GitHub app to push changes to Streamlit. I have a little Streamlit app. Like, this is cool, y'all. I'm feeling really optimistic, so I'm really excited about that. So that's where I'm at my little AI coding survey platform algorithm training journey. If you want to keep up with me and see how this fun project unfolds, hit subscribe. I'd love to have you here, and let's hope this works.